Welcome to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell. It's my honor to help you today to talk about first jobs all the way through first promotions and everything in between. This literally can be your one-stop shop podcast for all your needs starting out on your career journey. Today's episode will be awesome. It's number 205. Besides that, it's titled, How to Realize You're More Than Just a Job Title. Join me after the introduction, because this show has a special meaning to me, and I'll share with you shortly. I was an engineer, and in 2008, lost my job due to the economic collapse. Jobs were scarce. I didn't know where to turn to get help updating my resume. Online services and coaches charge hundreds, even thousands of dollars. I took matters into my own hands and learned how to craft interview-winning resumes. Shortly later, I landed a job with a Fortune 500 company. I've helped many achieve similar success. Now I share my tips to create interview-winning resumes, interviewing excellence, and high-performance growth strategies on my podcast, Career Growth Made Easy. Welcome back to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell. Oh, it's just an exciting, passionate episode. I can't wait to release it to you because this episode, it's sort of a 2-year anniversary celebration. And the 2-year anniversary is not how long we've been recording, but it's an anniversary celebration of some of the words, special words, that a listener shared with me in person when I was out at a speaking and coaching event. The episode the person referenced to me was number 116, Your Job Title Doesn't Define You. And I'm going to share with you those special words today. They touch my heart every time I think about it. And I'm thankful that I can be here to share this information with you and this story. So for today's show, like I said, kind of an anniversary edition from 2 years ago approximately, how to realize you're more than a job title. As I work with young and more seasoned professionals, the question always remains, what is it I'm going to do in my life? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to end up? And when you're starting out, for example, looking for your first job, maybe trying to put a resume together, yuck, the word resume, I know. Most people that I work with don't want to talk about it. Heck, they don't even know where theirs is. It's hard to find. What becomes of relative importance is when you lose your job or you're trying to find your first job, you need that document in some form or fashion. Now, it's true that not every hiring company requires a resume, and you can look for those specific companies out there, and sometimes they'll have hiring fairs. Large companies, I think Amazon and some others have done this over the years, where they'll have hiring fairs. Show up as you are. Just bring you, yourself, be your natural self, and they'll work through that. And they'll stretch it and organize it and put you into certain rooms or certain categories, depending on if you want to work in production, if you want to work in the manufacturing floor or the inventory floor with forklifts and heavy equipment. Do you want to be a driver? What specific skills do you have? Are you exceptional at customer service? You get the ideas. But overall speaking, generally speaking, I would say yes, you should have a resume. Dun, dun, dun. And we're not going to go into great detail today about that. But when we put information on our resumes, along with who we are to contact us, a little bit of our work history, if we have it, along with educational history, maybe some interests and hobbies and things you've been involved with in society, your church, your community, things like that, we often put job titles down. And what's followed, and if you don't have a resume or you don't have any experience, stay tuned. Trust me, this is going to be good. We often put our job titles down, and then we would put what we did for that job. That's a typical challenge many people face. So they put down their job descriptions. And that's where we get into trouble, because you are more than a job title. You are more than a job description, a worker bee, a worker, an individual contributor. You're more than that. And the first thing I would say is how to realize you're more than a job title. We first have to start out looking at our self-perception. It starts with our self-worth. Whether you believe in religion or not, which I happen to believe in, I think we're all made with a purpose and for a purpose. And let me say that again. I think we're all made with a purpose and for a purpose. You might not know your destiny today, and that's completely okay. You'll likely evolve over time, finding out what you're good at, and let's just say what you're not so good at, and that's completely okay. Over the years of coaching and training, I read a statistic, which may have changed by now, but if I were to bet, I'd guess that number that I'm going to share with you has gone up. What I recall is that the average person will have something like 2.6 career focus areas in their life. Now, you heard me right, 2.6. I don't really understand that. That must be an average because you and I, human beings, I think it's going to be hard for you and I each to have 6/10 of a career. So just figure that's an average, okay? Leaning between 2 and 3, getting a little closer to the 3 side, if you will. So I went to high school and college with a focus on electrical engineering. My dad had a electrical engineering technical degree background, and I was very interested in what he did and the knowledge, capabilities, skills he had repairing things and even improving and upgrading things. So I was able to knock out high school with a decent GPA. College, it took me a little longer than most, 5 years to achieve this, but nonetheless, I did it. And when that happened, I said, I love engineering. I'll never do anything else, anything differently. Well, fast forward through the first 15 years of my quote, engineering career life, I put some notes down here. I was an electronic technician, a design engineer, a reverse engineer, and an automotive high-performance tuner. Along the way, I moved up in management. I ended up in a director-level role. My point, as my knowledge and experience grew, I slowly found my way, and it included leadership. Typically, as you advance in management and leadership, which I prefer to say, you do less and you guide more, keeping the course of your company's mission and vision statements while managing personnel, financial responsibilities, holding the budgets, so forth, improving, spending money on R&D, things like that. The key point, though, is that your career will not be like mine. Mine will not be like yours, likely. You can model it after me, and I can model mine after yours, or you can do one after your friends. You really admire them. You really enjoy them. Maybe you want to model it after your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, a friend at school, at church, at work. No problem. Model it after them. However, as you find what you like, and as you find what you dislike, along with what you're good at, and to say it nicely, what you're not so good at. As a side note, yes, I'm an engineer, and I'll get into a little bit more of what additional background I have over my career focus changes, which kind of is proving the statistic, right? But if you were to ask me, Craig, you have some land, you have some property, why don't you grow some trees? Why don't you grow a garden, put up some nice plants, some flowers? I don't know. I can barely keep grass alive, and that's only thanks to, automatic sprinklers. I have had trouble. I do not have a green thumb. Am I willing to learn? Yes. Am I willing to try? Yes. Have I done some research? Have I talked to green thumb type people? Yes. But my point being is, it's not that I'm unwilling to learn. My point is that I'm just not good at that, okay? I'm willing to recognize it and accept it. If that's the only job that was out there, you bet I'd have to sit alongside someone, learn, mentor, coach, or co-coach, co-mentor, but that's not the point. It's that there's things you're good at, things you like, things you dislike. That's going to help you realize that you're more than just a job title. Whatever your job title is, does not define who you are and what you're capable of. It's just a position in a company you're working for, whether paid or unpaid, such as internships or happen to be volunteering. And that is something you're doing today. That is how society, that is how your company, your role defines you. You are a cashier. You are a technician. You are a field service worker, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer. Now, I know for some of the professional trades, you may not wear a name tag, so to speak, right? Not a badge. But the biggest mistake we can get into for those of us that wear little name tags and badges is to feel that we're defined by those name tags and badges. And that's where I want to share with you, bringing up this 2-year anniversary celebration with some really special words that a listener shared with me in person when I was at a speaking and coaching event approximately 2 years ago. That episode was 116, and it was Your Job Title Doesn't Define You. Give me a second, please. A person came up to me that I believed I'd never met before, and they basically said, hi, and they were kind of shy and looking down. You don't know me, but you saved my life. So I just stared with open eyes and probably an open mouth, just in shock, staring at them. Where are these words coming from? What does this mean? The person went on to say, I was going to kill myself, but I heard your episode 116. Your job title does not define you. And they decided that they were more than just a title. They were more than just a definition stamped on, written on a name card, a placard on their shirt. That person, we didn't have a conversation. That person finished what they had to say. I took a deep breath, smiled, and they were gone in the crowd, and that was it. I never saw them again. Not meaning to be about doom and gloom, and I know it took a couple pauses there, emotional pauses. Oh, it still to this day touches me. You never know, as a social media creator, as someone out there, as an influencer, a potential influencer, if I will, that you never know how you're going to touch lives. And this is something that not only touched their lives, but touched my life for the rest of my life. And that's why I wanted to have this 2-year anniversary celebration for episode 116. Wherever you are out there, if you're still listening, know that my heart, my prayers, my thoughts are with you. And for anyone of you that is struggling, believing that you're only what your job title says, you're only what's limited information you have, limited knowledge. Maybe you don't have the greatest grades in great middle school, high school, college. Maybe you didn't finish one of those school systems, and you're saying, what can I do in my life? You must have a degree. You must have a 4-year education to get something. That is not true. You can take time on your own to study, to grow, to find what you're good at. You can work as an intern. You can volunteer in areas around areas that interest you, and you can become more than your job title. What's inside you that drives you, your purpose, that's what you need to uncover. That's what you need to peel back and find out. Now, how do you do that, Career Coach Craig? Well, I gave kind of some hints today. It's the things you're good at may not be the things that you really enjoy doing, and the things you're not so good at, why did you try those? Was it out of curiosity? Was it because there was some inner yearning or burning or tingling inside that, I want to know more about this? You can be really interested in something, really excited, have a passion, but not be good at it. And that's completely okay. When I started cooking for my family, I barely knew how to boil water, okay? It's a joke, okay? But you get it? Just turn the heat on? Okay. Well, you heat it too long, the water boils down and runs out. The sauce or the soup gets too thick. You can even boil the water down so far that you burn the stuff at the bottom of the pan if the heat's too high. There's things you learn. But now I happen to cook a little bit better. I'm into barbecuing, meat smoking. I enjoy those things, and generally they come out pretty good. The point is, you can be interested in things that you're not good at. And so as you start out in your job field, try different things, volunteer, intern. Internships can be paid or unpaid. You can be more than just a job title. And if you don't have a job yet, no worries. The industry, society out there, just like for me many, many years ago, they know that you don't have that much experience. They're looking for the right talent, the right energy, the right passion. People can be trained on processes. You and I can be trained on procedures. We can become educated. We can learn companies' special skills, processes. In fact, I've talked to enough companies over the years, both small entrepreneurial businesses, 1-2 owners, family owners, to Fortune 500, and even I spoke, was it last year or the year before, at a Global 500 company. Believe it or not, they found me on, I think it was either LinkedIn or Facebook on one of my posts and asked me to do some custom training for them. My point is this. When I was there, I got to talk to them about their hiring practices, where they saw challenges, where they saw benefits, what irked them. And they understand that if you're coming into, globally, I've talked to people about this. Companies understand behind those companies, those big name brands, there are human beings in most cases that have sensitivity and have respect for applicants and interviewers and interviewees. And they know that if you have limited experience, that you're starting out. You can't answer the top of the line 30, 40-year career plus questions. You don't have that experience. They don't want you to. Where I was going with that is that having less experience actually in this economy can be better for you. You might start out at a slightly lower pay rate. You might have some pay increases and reviews over the cycles, 30 days, 60, 90 days, etc., 6 months, a year. But these companies are realizing now that if you have the right energy and if you have the right passion, they can mold you, if you will, into their mission statement, their vision statement. It's almost easier to train you if you have limited experience and limited job history than it is to take someone that's been at a position 5 or 10 years and you've become kind of complacent and just doing this automated role. You might have even forgotten the reason why you took the job if you've been there that long, and the benefit, the reason why you're in that role. It's to make money. Well, it's more than that. What are you producing? What service are you providing? What value you're providing to the company? Why are they paying you? And how are you helping a customer, the end customer, or somebody downstream from you in your company or upstream from you? What piece of the puzzle, what piece of it are you building and helping grow so there can be a final product, a final service going out? So when you remember your why, that can help you unearth and dig up what your passion relates to, your passion behind everything. And that's why, in closing, how to realize you're more than a job title is more than just words printed on your paycheck, on your resume, on your name card, your placard, your ID card if you have one to swipe or scan at work. It's about your passion inside. It's about what makes you tick. And even if you're not good at something now, no big deal. Work on it, get better if you enjoy doing that service, that process, that feature, working on that product. Then you'll uncover who you are, and what purpose you were made for. And no worries if that changes in 3, 5, 10, 20 years, because you're allowed to reinvent yourself. Whether you choose to do it with a career change or, God forbid, the industry crashes like it happened to me in 2008. I had no choice. I went from nearly 12 years of dedicated service to a company to you're unemployed the next day. People weren't buying automotive vehicles. They didn't need high-performance automotive products, and they didn't need engineers. They didn't need quality control directors. They didn't need people to support that because sales were down. So, one by one, people lost their jobs. Now, I'm not closing with a doom and gloom. My point is, you can be in charge of your destiny by finding out what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and growing yourself. I hope today's show, although it touched on some sensitive areas, also helps you remember you are more than just a job title, okay? Your job title doesn't define you. This is career coach Craig Ansell from the Career Growth Made Easy podcast, closing out Rockstar episode number 205 with a humble courtesy anniversary celebration to episode 116. Your job title doesn't define you. I would love to get your feedback to know if I'm on track with what your needs are, what your plans are. Maybe it's your first job. Maybe you're seeking your first promotion. Where do you need help? What are you finding valuable? Respond on your podcast player now. Leave a review, 5 stars if you feel this free content was worth it. And you're always welcome to contact me on social media at Craig Ansell, CraigAncel. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Career Coach Craig on TikTok. God bless you. We'll be back. See you soon. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. New episodes every Monday. In the meantime, why don't you follow us on social media at Craig Ansell on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To book a coaching appointment, download our free guides, or join our email list, check out the links in the description below.